Millions of pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, providing more information on the convicted sex offender's crimes. Among the files, claims bodies are buried near Epstein's Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me. John Soto, this is SotoCast, taking a look at a couple of other things we got going on here. The Epstein files. This is a very, very interesting report. This is out of a local affiliate over there. And just take a listen to the report, and then we'll discuss it, as we always do.
Tonight, the state land commissioner demanding an investigation.
I'm going to keep asking questions and keep poking around until I get an answer.
Those coming from an anonymous email in 2019 addressed to a local radio host.
Aaliyah Chavez spoke with him and has the details of that email.
Yeah, Doug, Shelley, we're also hearing tonight from the Attorney General's office, who says it takes these allegations seriously, but needs more information to do something about it. Eddie Aragon says it was early in the morning in November 2019 when he got this email from someone claiming they were a former staffer at Zorro Ranch. Writing, "Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex."
I got the email. I was startled.
The emailer says they had 7 sex videos, including some with minors, but never actually sent the footage, asking Aragon for digital currency Bitcoin.
Approximately at that time, Bitcoin was worth about $8,000. They wanted in exchange 1 Bitcoin for the videos that they had in possession.
Aragon says he didn't know what to do with the email, so he sent it to the FBI.
Who apparently just buried it.
Since referred to the FBI on a number of other things, and I've never heard back from them on anything.
Fast forward 6 years later, the DOJ released Aragon's email as part of the Epstein files.
Matters. I think that New Mexicans need answers. I think the victims need answers.
That's what prompted New Mexico Public Lands Commissioner Stephanie Garcia Richard to send this letter to the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office Tuesday, asking them to thoroughly investigate this disturbing allegation.
Do you guys see like the landscape, the scenery? So in my understanding, I think if what I looked up is correct, it says it's an 8,000 acre ranch. I don't even know how, like, what is that? Jeffrey Epstein's 8,000 acre New Mexican ranch was listed back in 2021 for $27.5 million. It's not bad. Pretty good deal. Minus the bodies. And, let me let this report finish out, and then we'll get into it.
Regarding the referenced burials.
We need to get to the bottom of really what happened in New Mexico.
She says she was horrified to learn in 2019 that our state was still leasing lands around Zorro Ranch to Epstein's company.
I canceled the leases at that time.
A month after Epstein killed himself in jail, the land around the mansion totals around 1,200 acres and hasn't been leased out since.
We're thinking to possibly turn it into a memorial to honor the victim.
Yeah, so I guess the 8,000 comes from, I guess, the other land that he had leased. I don't know. The numbers are all over the map, but I guess 1,200 is the proper ranch, I guess.
Or as some kind of wildlife sanctuary, perhaps. So that's what we're thinking for that land.
Attorney General Raul Torres' office responding to Garcia Richard hours later with this letter. As we understand it, the allegations appear to be unsubstantiated, it says, going on to say they will work to obtain the original files. Once such information is obtained, our office will review it to determine whether any further action is warranted, and if so, the appropriate next steps.
To my knowledge, no investigation has taken place thus far. It doesn't sound like anything is going to be taking place very soon.
The commissioner says she's ready to offer all state land for investigation, but can't do anything about the ranch since it's privately owned, bought by new owners and renamed. Aaliyah Chavez, KOAT Action 7 News.
Bought by new owners and renamed. Who are they? What are they doing? Like, obviously, it's going to be not just some random people, because they would have, but I mean, take a look at that. That is just wild shit, man. 1,200 acres. Damn. Yeah. In a situation like that, I mean, you could have cadaver dogs out there, for the rest of our lives. We may not find anything. You're going to need some inside intel, some inside sources. You're going to need people that, are in the know. And obviously, I mean, look, it's one of those things where, shouldn't be that hard, right? Unless these people are dead. I mean, he asked for one Bitcoin at $8,000. And he kind of knew he was obviously a smart guy. If he would have sold it at the high, but yeah, there are definitely investigative steps that you can take, to kind of figure this thing out. It's going to take somebody that obviously knows the terrain, knows the area. 1,200 acres it's not that daunting. It's pretty damn big, but it's something that can be done. Obviously, if now, let's say, for example, let's actually try to investigate this very quickly in our minds. Let's say you can actually get a definitive person that says they know these bodies were buried here. This is where they were buried, or the approximate area. Now you can go and get a search warrant for that. And regardless of whether this is now private property, newly owned, you can still search that area. You're searching for a crime that was committed. You have a credible witness, and probable cause can be established through that. The judge would grant a search warrant in that scenario. I mean, you're not searching the person's home. I'm sure everything inside that house was already sanitized and taken care of many, many years ago. But the land, unless these things were removed, which is also a possibility. What you have to understand is that at the level that we're dealing with these things, at the level of these people, we're not dealing with amateurs that just, this is not something, if this is their day to day, if they're burying bodies day to day, then they kind of know how to do it. They kind of know how to dispose of it. It is a very arid environment. I'm sure there's going to be wildlife out there. The likelihood of finding something, especially if it was like a shallow grave and it was all just picked through and scattered to the winds, it's going to be a hard find, but it still can be done. Especially if these bodies are not that old, you find some bone matter, you can run a DNA analysis, get maybe some sort of a genealogy involved. Obviously, they're young, so that their DNA is not going to be on file. DNA being on file usually is a result of somebody being a criminal, and or in very rare instances, if you provide DNA to, like a lot of these sites that will do your genealogy. But it's something that is somewhat solvable. I don't understand how this is not more, out there. This is the first report that I'm seeing of it. But that ranch, I guarantee you, that had to have been like hell on earth. I mean, you just have a massive amount of land, that massive amount of resources. That you can pretty much do whatever you want. That might as well be an island. I mean, it might as well be an island with that amount of property, with the wilderness and the way that all that structure is structured. Just wild stories, man. Guys, if you're still here, please subscribe. I was supposed to ask you a long time ago, but that's why I don't have a lot of subscribers, because I always forget. Just hit the subscribe button. That's all I ask. You don't have to do anything else. It's free. Just click the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. If you want to follow me on X, 6283talk is my account on X. If you want to check me out there, I'm John Soto. See you in the next video, guys. Take care.